In comparison to my previous job, I would say it's 4 times more. I found myself completely getting bored up doing the same repeated task. I did not have much of time because I was working a 10-hour shift. There was no coding involved. It was just going through the JavaScript. And the first interview that I faced, it's very overwhelming for me that I cracked it.
Which skill set did you find most difficult to acquire?
The main focus was on the projects. Even in the interview.
Hey everyone, welcome back to eLearning Bridge. I hope you guys are doing good and staying safe. So I am back with another amazing and really interesting podcast. And our guest speaker's journey is truly motivational because she is just 2021 graduate, although coming from a CS background. But her first job was actually related to the content management, where she was just doing all the manual related stuff and she was literally not enjoying all these stuff. And that was something which actually pushed her, and she made a career transition into the analyst profile and working in a product based company with a good salary as well. So this whole thing actually happened in just 1 year. So she will share everything with us today, her challenges, how she moved into it, how she upskilled herself, the important skill sets she covered, the interviews part, how she actually showcased her skill set, her projects related to the analyst profile, the salary, the whole interview process, and what will be important for you to kickstart your analyst journey if you are coming from these kind of job profiles, and how you can do it in just 1 year. So make sure to watch it till the very end. This one is going to be super interesting. If you find it informative, if you find it motivating, make sure to hit the like button, and also if you are new to the channel, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and press the notification icon. So thank you so much, Prescilla, for joining me in this podcast. And again, I'm very excited to have a podcast with analyst, because lots of folks were requesting me to bring more and more podcasts related to the analyst background, and your story is something which is really amazing. But it would be really great, Prescilla, if you can give an introduction about yourself and your past academic background and anything related to the professional background.
Thank you, Shashank, first of all, for having me. I'm Prescilla Vincent. I've completed my graduation from Osmania University in the field of computer science and engineering, after which I joined an MNC company as a content manager. And now presently I'm placed in Zero Code HR as an implementation analyst.
Cool. So sounds like someone moved from the content management to the analyst role. So this one is going to be really interesting. So watch it till the very end. And I have few really interesting questions for you, Prescilla. And the next one is, you started your career as a content management, right? I'm really interested to know more about your day-to-day activities, like as a content management, what you were actually doing, right? And the most important part, what was that triggering point, or what all things you were not enjoying in your job which actually pushed you to switch your career from the content management to the analyst role?
So as a content manager, what we basically do is we review the domains, the sites, look at their JavaScript, and see if there are any policy violated content or malware, virus, bugs, etc. And we enable or disable the domain using different kinds of labels. So it had targets to be met, day-to-day targets. On every queue there are different kinds of targets that had to be met, and I found myself completely getting bored up doing the same repeated task, because every domain has to be reviewed in the same kind of way. That's why I was searching for a new career path for myself.
Yeah, totally understood. So I want to understand few things. So your role was more into the technical, like you are taking those technical names, JavaScript, right, all those things. So you had to code, you had to write those scripts by your own, or it was a simply manual task to review all those things?
There was no coding involved. It was just going through the JavaScript. That's it.
So you had a knowledge of JavaScript. Were you able to understand the code, or within the JavaScript code you were trying to look at few specific keywords to figure out?
For the job, I required just a few keywords to look at and find out if it had malware or not. But yes, I had a full knowledge on JavaScript because I have done computer science.
Okay,
So like that,
amazing.
I've
Yeah.
learned the basics. Yes.
Yeah. How can I forget that you are a CSS student? Cool. So you had an understanding of JavaScript, so pretty cool. But yeah, role was much more onto the manual reviewing. So I can totally understand why you even took that move
Yes.
to move from that job to the analytics role. Now you have started working as an implementation analyst. So my first
Yes.
question in this segment is, what will be your role and responsibilities as an implementation analyst? What will be your day-to-day work, right? When you will be working for this particular role, and also the most important part, how did you upskill yourself to make that transition from the content management to the analyst role? Was it by your own? You started searching by your own, or you found something else, right, which actually helped you to upskill yourself?
So, Zero Code HR, the company, is a product based company. So, as an implementation analyst, what I'm required to do is I need to talk to the client, find out their requirements, and accordingly, we will be given a data set. We need to run SQL queries on it and resolve any errors that may occur. And we use tools like UAT, which is like a dashboard kind of a tool. We drag and drop and make changes according to the client's requirements, and we provide them with the software that they need related to HR. As I mentioned, I was not very happy with my previous job. So I was trying to find out where my interests lie in. So I found that I like Python, SQL a lot. So into those lines, I was watching YouTube videos and I came across a YouTube video wherein a student from Odin School had been sharing their own experience of how they had got into the data science and data analytics profile, and they taken the course. It is a 6 months course, I'd found out, and it was already 6 months I had been working in the MNC company, and 6 months more if I do the course, then Odin School offered me placements too, which sounded very appetizing at that time. So I found out a little more about the platform, and it was very genuine. The people were very helpful. To upskill myself, Odin School had helped me. We started off with descriptive statistics, after which basics of Python and SQL were taught, then advanced level Python and SQL. Then they taught us PySpark, and then for the visualization tools, they taught Microsoft Power BI, and then moved to machine learning, and then ETL. This was a 6 months journey that I had gone through with Odin School. Every week there were new topics that were taught, and projects that I needed to complete and submit, which helped me practice whatever was being taught on Saturdays and Sundays in the live classes. Uh, that was my transition, and I just finished the course in 6 months, and the first interview that I faced was Zero Code HR, and it's very overwhelming for me that I cracked it and I was able to be placed in such a good company.
Awesome. Yeah, I can see that happiness at your face. If any of you are interested to make that kind of transition, so the upcoming bootcamp link will be in the description. Check it out. So thanks for sharing your experience, Prescilla, at least related to your day-to-day activities, and all the best for your new journey, I would say. So in terms of acquiring the right skill sets to become an analyst, what all things, right, you prepared step by step? I mean, this is the section where I would say you need to talk about the skill sets, right, which you think from the 0th step, then the first step, second, third, and till the end of the analyst preparation journey. What all things you covered, and what all things will be helpful for the audience to become a top-notch data analyst?
So my journey to become a data analyst started with Python. I'd studied Python first and then SQL. Then I've done some exploratory data analysis on the data sets and acquired a few skills on storytelling because that is needed in the job profile. Python is mainly required in data analysis because before Python had been introduced in data science, data analysis in companies was done using Excel, which was a very tedious process. You needed to write formulas and stuff to visualize data so that it could be explained to the higher ups in a visual way and not make it very boring. Wherein Python, it has pandas and different kinds of libraries that are seaborn and matplotlib that can be used to make data visualization more interesting. SQL is mainly used in the database because we need to make a relational database, pulling out data from the database easier. Exploratory data analysis, the same thing. The client will come to you and ask you to show him different kinds of requirements, like suppose in an e-commerce company, he will want to know why a certain client has a certain customer stopped coming to his shop and is going to another this one. So why is he rerouting? There can be different reasons. So maybe the other shop is providing much of a discount, where here there is very less, or different kinds of reasons. So using the data of his purchases, we can take out reasons as to why he has drifted away. EDA makes it a very visual process so that the higher ups, like the HR and the CEO of a company, may understand what is exactly happening.
This will be helpful for the audience to get the basic idea. At least somebody wants to start with the analyst profile, at least these will be the basic things needs to be covered. And glad that you answered that the why section, why Python is required, why SQL is required, because lots of people will have this question, okay, with the Python are we going to code so much, or we need too much of programming? But very well explained, thanks for that one. When you were making your transition, right, so what was the most challenging part, right, in your career transition from content management to the analyst role? Because this is also a kind of different journey, or anyone who tries to move from one specific job profile to another one, there will be lots of hurdles in between. So based on your experience, what were those typical challenges you faced? And also, when you were acquiring these skill sets, which skill set did you find most difficult to acquire? Because everybody has their own capabilities, so at least for few skills you might have a difficult phase that, oh, this looks little bit difficult.
The main hurdle and the biggest hurdle that I faced was time. I did not have much of time because I was working a 10-hour shift, and it had become work from office recently when I joined the course. So around 14 hours used to go only for my job, after which I needed to take out time to study, because I had projects, I had different kinds of assignments that I need to submit during the course. So that was one of the biggest hurdles for me. Apart from that, I'd say Python. I had a basic knowledge on Python, but then when advanced Python started, that was a little bit difficult for me, but I had a lot of guidance. My mentors were really helpful. SQL was very nice, it was very easy, and the queries, they had explained it very nicely, so that went off very smoothly without any issues. Exploratory data analysis also, there was a little bit because I needed to think logically to find out the answers to the queries that were asked. storytelling part also, because they had given examples and showed us exactly how to do it, how to portray your data. That was also very smooth.
So for the Python part, do you think your previous experience with the JavaScript somehow helped you to pick it up quickly, or still it was really difficult, that Python jargons or complexities of it? Although Python is not that complex, very easy to understand, but just
Yes.
want to take your opinion whether your past experience anyhow helped you to acquire these skill sets, or it was completely different.
I'd say it was completely different, because
Okay.
going through a code is different, and when you're sitting to write your own code, that is completely different.
Finding out that window to upskill yourself and to prepare for anything is the most difficult challenge, and I think here better time management is something which can be helpful. Obviously we need to push ourselves, right? If let's say we are working 14 hours, we need to maintain that consistency, and we need to add 2 more extra hours in our day-to-day activities. So it will be challenging, but the end result will be very sweet, as Prescilla has also got her best result.
Yes.
And that's what, right? Just a hard work of 6-8 months, and after that things will be changed. When you acquire these skill set, next step is to apply for the job applications, and there your resume becomes the entry point. And even in the interviews, the interviewers will focus on your past experiences and the past projects. Based on your experience, can you put some light on this section, that how we can adjust our current experience or current skill sets, current project, in such a way so that they will get more limelight rather than our past experience? Because if our past experience in something else, then interviewer might think that we are not good fit for this particular role. So how did you do that, and what's your best suggestion for it?
So, in the resume, mainly I had mentioned the capstone projects that I had done in the Odin School platform, the mini and the major capstone project. Apart from that, also there were many other machine learning projects, Power BI projects that were assigned to me. I had mentioned only the main technical projects that I have done. Apart from that, a very little bit mention about my previous experience in the company. The main focus was on the projects. Even in the interview, they had mainly focused on what I had actually done.
Since you have highlighted the interview part, I would definitely like to touch upon this section. So although you have given just one interview, right, to get your analyst job, but it would be great if you can just talk a little bit about the interview process, that as an analyst, typical how many rounds will be there, and in each round what all things will be asked step by step.
So there were 4 rounds. As I went in, I was given the aptitude test, wherein there were about 30 questions. 30 questions, mainly mathematical aptitude was tested, reasoning was tested, and the English, normal English, passive, active voice, etc. Then
Interesting.
once I had passed the aptitude round, then the technical round had started. There were 2 persons there who interviewed me. One, they had asked me only about my CV, all the details mentioned in the CV about my past experience, my project works mainly, and I had to explain a few codes that I had written in my projects as to what I had done exactly in the project. And after they were satisfied with that, then they moved to the technical part, where they asked me about the SQL. They gave me given me few tables. I needed to extract some kind of data from those tables and then use inner join, group by, etc., and the between operators. I had written queries. After I passed the technical round, it was a project manager's round. He had asked me mainly details regarding my CV and the projects, nothing much in detail. And the same thing with the HR round. He was the CEO of the company, and that interview was a little bit detailed. He had asked me questions about my project work, and again the same technical questions about SQL, Python, PySpark, etc. And I had written queries related to that too. Then it was a behavioral test, maybe, because he had asked me what makes me happy, what makes me sad, what makes me angry, these kinds of questions.
I have just one last question, Prescilla, for you, and that is simply nothing. I want to ask, I'm not asking your exact salary, but in comparison to your past CTC, whatever you are earning, so how that has been incremented now, right, in terms of the factor or in terms of the percentage. If you want to give that idea, that would be helpful. I know we cannot talk about the exact salary details, but still that will be motivating for the audience, that when you take a jump, right, when you actually make a career transition, that how your salary will actually get multiplied, right?
Right now, I'm getting 8 LPA and plus. In comparison to my previous job, I would say it's 4 times more than what I was getting. So
great. And you
that
have
is
just
a really big amount.
Yeah, and you have just approximately 1+ years of experience, right? 1 plus 2021
Yes.
graduate. Cool.
11
Very
years,
good.
11 months, that's it.
Yeah, very good. I would say at least a good start for your career, and now at least from this point onwards, the course of your journey and the growth will be really different as soon as you move forward in the data analytics domain. So thank you so much, Prescilla, for joining me and sharing your wonderful experience with us and helping the audience to know more about you, your challenges of this career transition from content management to the analytics domain. It would be really helpful for the audience. So from my side and from the entire audience side, thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you, Shashank, for having me.
So that's what I had for you guys in this podcast. I'm pretty sure you would have enjoyed Prescilla's journey and the experience she had shared with us. And I find it really informative. I find it really motivating. That's why I want you as well to hit the like button and share it with your fellow friends. If you have any thoughts and opinion, and if you want to share anything, then feel free to put it in the comment section. And if you are new to the channel, then smash the subscribe button and press the notification icon. I will see you guys in the next week with another amazing podcast. Till then, just stay safe, stay home, take care of yourself and your family too.